Hey everyone, it's Patty from pspapercrafts. Welcome to my Friday Fun Fold video. I can't believe we're at the end of June and next week will be July. So I'm working on the calendar for next month. This is my June inspiration catalog, calendar. Oh my goodness. And we're making an arrow fold card. This is just a calendar that I have for ideas, inspiration. I make some of the things, not all of the things. So if you want to get this calendar each month in your email, just subscribe to my email list and I'll send it off when I create it, and then each week you'll get it with the cards, some of the cards that I made based on the calendar. But we're doing an arrow fold card. I had never heard of this. I go on Pinterest and I just search for fun folds, and that's where I get the ideas from. I have to say none of them are original, and I don't know who made this, but I thought it was really pretty. It almost looks like an envelope with this little extra piece here. And time to celebrate. So for this, I use I love this paper, the Mediterranean Blooms. So I use that, and I want to just show you, sometimes you can use, the next card we're going to use both sides of the paper, and I should have had these out. So this is the other side of this paper. And then this is the other side of this paper. So if you could use the other side, you know, if you like that, I didn't really care for that. I liked these flowers. So if you wanted to, in the next card, we are going to use both sides. I just thought, I don't know, it didn't do it for me. I love both sides of this paper, but I just don't like them together for some reason. I don't know. It's a little bit weird. And then let me just show you what I used for the stamping. So the sentiment, I took the happiest birthday. These have great sentiments. This is a fun set, but the sentiments are really good. And then I used the die to cut out. It looks kind of not like it would cut out. This is the one I used. I thought I used this one. It just gives you that kind of scalloped look. And I used garden green for the ink and the card base. So just be aware of, you know, both sides of the paper. If it works, go for it. If it doesn't, then just get another paper in the same pack, because they all kind of coordinate. So let's move on. Starting July 3rd, we're having new online exclusives. And online exclusives are kind of funny because they're not in the catalog, and I think people forget about them or don't know about them. So I am using some new product I was able to pre-order, and this is just gorgeous. It is the Greetings of the Season suite. So I know we're not in July. I know a lot of people do Christmas in July. We're still in June, but that's okay. So this suite, you can buy parts, all, whatever you want. We're going to use this paper. It's gorgeous, and I'm going to show it to you because it has, because you can't see it anywhere else yet. So it has, you know, it's 12 by 12. It's double-sided. There's all this gold foiling on it. So it's just greens and gold and white, and I think there's some very vanilla in there. I think that's very vanilla. So it's just gorgeous. I love it. And there's, I think, dies that cut these bells out. So I'll just kind of step through it. Very pretty. I love this. I don't know if there's dies. There's probably dies. I have to still play with it. So we're going to use both sides of this. Front and then the sides with this. Then in the suite, or whether you want it separately, there's also this beautiful vellum. I love vellum, and it just is such a pretty look. Let me get it out. There we go. It's so thin and dainty. So you'll get 2 of these, and then 2 of these, and then 2 of these. So pretty. I love it. And I love all the greens. And then there's these cherry cobbler and pearl adhesive backed berries. So you can make wreaths with some of the dies on this. There's the Greetings of the Seasons dies, and we're going to use some of these. So these are great. They're like all these different size tag dies, and then all these great sentiments. So we are going to be using this die and sentiment from here. And I love this. It's like a big arrow. Let's see. And then there's this other bundle. So this is one bundle. If you get the whole suite, you get all of this. Or you can buy a bundle or just a stamp set. And then there's the golden greenery. And I believe these cut out some of the paper. And actually, there's 2 sheets of these. So I saw pictures where people made wreaths with this, and then they put the little berries on it. And these I love. So anyway, July 3rd is when it starts. And I will be having more information, and I'll have links to see it online, because you can go online and then you can see some cards that were made by it once it goes live. So I have my pieces, and there's only a few pieces here, and it's all about the marking and folding, and you'll find that out. So we're doing, this is Old Olive, so it's a half a piece of 8.5 by 11, so it's 5.5 by 8.5, and then we're going to score it. And we'll score it right in half like we would make a normal card. And I have all of the measurements. It's good to watch the video because there's some funny scoring to do. But watch it and then print out the PDF. There's a project sheet below that you can get the measurements and the sizes and all of that, so you can you know, follow along with the video, but have it right in front of you. So we are going to score this right in half to get our card base. And then we're going to mark it. Let me get my pencil. We are going to mark it in a few places, and I have a little cheat sheet on the side here. So we are on the 5.5 side, we're going to mark it right in half, and that would be 2 3/4. And we're going to just put a little pencil mark here. Okay, and then we're going to turn it around, and we're going to mark in 2 places on the 8.5 side. So we will mark it at 2 1/8. So 2 1/8, and we're going to mark the top and the bottom. That's the 2 places. So we're going to mark up here, and you could do this with a ruler. You don't have to do it with your trimmer. And then down here. So I'm marking right where the groove is. Okay, and then what we're going to do, let me remember this, is we are going to get that little tick mark and this little tick mark that we marked in pencil. So this would be the, what was it, 2 3/4, and then, is that right? No, this is the 2 3/4, and then this is the 2 1/8. But anyway, it's the 2 tick marks. That might be easier. So we're just going to put our thing down and score it. And then we're going to go from this, the 4 1/4, where it's scored in half, and we're going to rotate that. I hope you're in. Let me just see. So we're going to put that score line in the groove right down to the pencil line. And we're going to score this. And then we're going to do the same exact thing on the other side. So we're going to take this little score line, tick mark, I should say, down to this tick marker. Okay? And we'll just go back and forth. I like to give it a good score. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go to this score line where the card is scored in half, down to that same little pencil mark, tick mark, whatever you want to call it. It looks kind of funny, but I think once we're done with the scoring, you'll see. Right? Makes sense. So now we're going to put this aside because we're going to need it for the designer series paper. And I like to just fold it. I like to fold in. And then we're going to fold a piece back, and we'll burnish it with our bone folder. So just fold them all in. Okay, and then let's get our bone folder. We're going to fold it like this. And then we're going to fold this one like this. We'll fold this, and then out. So I like to fold it down the first time just so that it's easier to fold back. And we never folded this. Let's fold this down. So this gives you that look. And now you just put your designer series paper on and it kind of dresses it up and sets this little fold aside or off a little bit. So we do want to glue these pieces down. Let me get a good glue. And you want to be sure that you don't glue out too far. So on this one, you don't want to go beyond here, right? So let's just keep that in mind as we're gluing. So we just kind of want to go here and down. And the same thing here. And what I'm going to do is just get a clear block just to hold it in place. You can put, sorry for all the noise. You can put tear and tape down there if you want. I think the liquid glue is good. And we're just going to rest that for a few minutes just to make sure it's nice and glued down. And then we're going to glue this side. And you don't want to go past here. You don't want any glue up here, so you want it like, well, I guess in here. This whole thing will go down as I'm looking at it. So this will go down, and then you want to glue here. This isn't as important because the whole thing is down and covered. Okay, and let's put our clear block on here. And let's put this aside while we work on our designer series paper. So this piece is 4 by 5, so it's 5 by 4, and you want to make sure if it's directional that you're doing this in the right direction. Okay, so you don't want it this way because, I mean, you could have your card go this way if you wanted to, but if you're having it go this way, you want this piece down. And then also we're going to mark this and cut this. So you don't want it cut this way because it will be upside down. So pay attention, just think about it as you're doing it. So this is 4 by 5, and what we're going to do is mark it, and I'm going to do it upside down and you'll see why. So we are going to mark this right in half at 2.5. So half of 5 is 2.5. And this is going to be hard to see. I'm wondering if I should do it on the other side. Yes. So 2.5. So this will be much easier to see. And it doesn't matter because we're cutting it. Okay. And then what we're going to do is cut this down. Let me move this aside. I want to make sure I'm in camera because this is important. So we're going to go from this ticky mark to the point. So you might have to move this down. So to this point. Okay. Oops, I moved it. And then we want to do the cutting blade. So that's going to give us this side. And then we'll do the same thing. We're going to go from that little pencil mark straight down to the cutting blade. Or to the point. Okay, so now it's going this way. So you see it would be this way if I didn't pay attention to it. So you really just have to think about the wide side of your triangle and the point. So the wide side, it's going to go in that direction. And the way I find this out is sometimes I make a mistake and then it's like, I did it wrong. So this will go right here and we're just going to glue this down. I love this paper. I love the gold. And I'm wondering, maybe we should gold emboss it. What do you think? The sentiment. I was going to do it in red and put some of those red berries. But maybe we'll do some gold just to bring out the embossing or the gold accents on it. So you're going to have a border around it. And then on the inside, this is just your normal 4 by 5 1/4 inside that you would put in a card. But we're going to lay these on here. and it will go perfect. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I like it. So let's before we put this down, let's put our sentiment down. So do we want to do the embossing? Let me get the Versamark. I have Cherry Cobbler out, and I was going to do the red. Let's just stick with the red. I think that will be easier. You could do gold embossing. I have everything out. This way we just keep going with it. So on the inside, you want to, before you stick anything down, you want to make sure you do your stamping so that if you make a mistake, you could just flip it over. But you want to get an idea. I'm doing the Merry Christmas. Let me just show you. And it's broken up, so you can do, you know, I think you could do Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas. You could do this Merry and this Christmas. There's all kinds of ways you can do it. So I'm going to do the inside Merry Christmas, these two. I'm going to start with Christmas. I like to start with like the biggest or the bottom piece first. So we're just going to put this right down here. Oh, no. See, let's try it. If it doesn't work, I'm going to just flip it. No, see? All right. Good thing I didn't stick them down. That's the beauty of being able to do a do-over. And let me just get a scrap of paper, just to make sure there's nothing crazy with the stamp. And actually, I should probably do it on a piercing mat. Oh no, that's okay. So let's try that again. Okay, phew. I'm going to try the Merry just to make sure there's nothing crazy with that. So now with the Merry, I can see where I want to kind of center it over. So that's why I like to do the biggest or the longest sentiment first. Merry Christmas. Okay. And now we can glue these down. It's a very easy card. I always say that, right? If you listen to me, it's like, oh, if you know how to do it, it's very easy. But this one, I hadn't heard of it. I wasn't familiar at all with it. And when I first saw it, I was like, it's okay. But I do like it. It's a little bit different. I have this hanging over the side here. I'm pushing it in. So one thing about the liquid glue, you have that chance to move it around. It was hanging over the back, the side, pretty far, and then it probably would have messed up. I mean, I would have just cut another piece if I had to, but why do that if you can fix it? So then we'll put this down. So once it's down, but you do have that little bit of time to kind of maneuver it. Okay, and then let's put this down. Right on there with a little border around it. And I like to close it down to make sure it looks good. And I think it does. Okay. So now let's take this tag. Again, I use the new, what is it called? Greetings of the Season dies. I use this oval. And I have that cut out, and it gives you a little hole. So what I thought is I would kind of hang it not like this and not like this, but like this. So I want to stamp. I'm going to do Love and Joy in the red. Love and Joy. I've got that song in my head now. I don't sing. You don't want to hear me sing. But you'll know the song I'm talking about. Okay, and then I thought we would just put some baker's twine. And we have the baker's twine essential pack, and it has white in there. You could put linen thread in as well. And we'll just feed that through. I'm going to stick it down with dimensionals, but this will just be a little bow on it. Just want to cut it so it's not unraveling. It's like threading a needle, right? Only it's much easier. It's much bigger. So let me just cut it. I usually do it on the spool, but let's just cut it. I think there's too much going on. And you can put a couple of strands if you wanted to make it thicker. And this is the ribbon that comes with it. It's like a satin. It's beautiful. I would think that I'll use it to wrap gifts with. Too big for this, I think, you know, to put it through. I think it would be too bulky. But you could always, you know, do a big ribbon and then add some baker's twine with it or linen thread. Let's see how this is going to look. What is this piece? There it is. Okay. Let's get this. I think it's a little too big. I know, I don't like to fuss too much. Let's just cut some of these off. All right. Okay. Sorry. I'm just gonna tighten it up a little bit. And let's put some dimensionals down on this, and we'll put it down, and then we'll add some of those red pearls or gems or whatever they are. Take the backs off of these. And you don't even have to add it with dimensionals if you didn't want to, but I thought it would be nice. Love and joy. A little bow. And let's get these out. I just like to cut the top of this. This way I can just pull it up this way. We'll put some of these on. And they're all the same size. I mean, there's groups of 3. And then there's the singles. All right, so we are done with this. So this is an arrow fold card. Love and joy, Merry Christmas. And then happiest birthday, time to celebrate. I think they're both pretty. There's greens. We're all about the greens today. So thanks for joining, and look for some information on the online exclusive starting next week. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. All right, you guys have a good week. Take care.